Millicent Rogers could have been buried anywhere. She chose Sierra Vista Cemetery. Nestled behind an Allsup's gas station and within earshot of the town's busiest thoroughfare, the graveyard may seem an incongruously humble resting place for many of the larger-than-life characters that dominate Taos history, but as local artist Thom Wheeler points out, the likes of Rogers and Leon Gaspard are buried there beneath the dusty earth for the very reason they flocked to northern New Mexico in the first place. They loved it.
The land was donated, and I'm not sure who donated the land, but it was donated for the cemetery. The oldest part of the cemetery is down at the end, and that's where most of the Taos art founders are there. But the cemetery has grown over the years, so it's more than 2 acres, maybe closer to 3 acres. They keep adding annexes onto it as the years has gone on. But that is the oldest section at the end. I visited out here in the 80s when I first moved to Taos because the prominent artists out here, and you find some of the best sculpture in cemeteries, and I'm a sculptor, so and you know, I love history. So we started cleaning up the cemetery, and I found out that a fellow named Tom Tarlington, who had maintained it for years, was very elderly, and I met him out here, and he said, you know, take it over for me. He said, I'm 90 and I can't do it anymore. So I said, well, I'll do what I can. So since then, that's what I've been doing. I see what needs to be done. You know, we cut a lot of old trees down, and I've had a lot of people help me. I've gone and knocked on doors and asked for donations to pay for the crane and pay for the chainsaw guys. And so, you know, we don't even have a budget. We're working on, I get $1 and I go spend $1, you know. I think there's probably well over 100 veterans buried here, from World War I to Korea, Vietnam, World War II, obviously. But I'd have to tell you that since we've started cleaning up, which has been about a year, that I've noticed considerably that other people has come out and has started to maintain their family graves. Every week I come out and a new grave, like this one over here, is, you know, that you see they've got fresh bark in it, and they've it's like, you know, I think it's just like it rolls like that, you know. If your neighbor cleans his yard, you clean yours, kind of, you know, that type of thing. And it's very respectful. This cemetery is just a jewel. It's a crown jewel in Taos. Now, I know we have Kit Carson, we keep that up nicely, and that's a wonderful cemetery, but this is a much newer cemetery. But so much history here. It's an unbelievable amount of history.
The whole project is also a learning process, Wheeler says. Every day spent working on the site brings forward a forgotten piece of history. It was a volunteer who earlier this year uncovered Gaspard's grave, long covered in juniper. Too few Taos residents are aware of the cemetery's existence, much less that it is open to the public. But Wheeler hopes to make the cemetery part of the community, a part of the past connected to, and perhaps even lending inspiration for, the present.